Well, hey there. Welcome to the Pawpaw Chronicles-n-more with Jim. Yesterday on the Facebook group Pawpaw Chronicles, I had posted a picture of transplanting my pawpaw trees, and what it is that I'm doing is a lot of work. But I was asked about the root mass inside of one of those of the picture itself. Now what I have here is a tray, and the tray I have, give me just a sec. Is one of these. I've explained these before. This is a root maker tray from the Root Maker Products Company out of Huntsville, Alabama. It's designed to create root mass. Although I don't leave pawpaw trees in these very long, I transplant them. All I want that tray to do is to air prune that taproot, and I'm looking for the results from that. Let me set this back down right here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see, I have a bunch of little pawpaws right here, and I'm going to pull a few of them, and we're going to transplant them later on. But somebody had asked me about these trays once before, and they wanted to know, how do you get the trees out of there? They've tried pulling them out, and they've broken trees up. Now what I have here, let me get this. There's a small bucket of water. It's not going to take much, but I'm going to go ahead and pull one, and we're going to take a look at it real quick, and then I'll talk to you a little more. Now what I do is I take the fork and I go around the cell just to loosen up the soil a little bit and get that tree to release itself. Now, I'm hoping that you can see this, but you see what's happened here. Down here at the bottom, it air pruned, it cauterized, and then it went right back up the shank and started pushing roots out the side. And that's air pruning. Now, what I'm going to do with these right here, and I will show you, is they're going to go into a pot like this. Now the pot is only 9.5 inches long, or tall rather, and as you can see, it has holes all over the bottom of it, in the corners and right down the middle. Now what I'll do is I'm going to take that little tree, I'm going to plant it in here, and what will happen is once you've done the air pruning with these trees, excuse me a minute, it is extremely hot. Get the sweat off me. But getting back to what I was talking about, what it's going to do, I like the way that looked. Let's pull another one out here and see how it looks. I got one right here. And we're going to take a look at the root system on it. And like I said, all I'm trying to do is break up. There we go. And there it is. We have the taproot came down, and the way the pot is designed with the little V section down at the bottom, it steered it in that direction and it cauterized, and then it started shooting lateral roots out. That's what that pot is designed to do. Now, to explain to you what will happen is, you see all this root mass, quite a bit of it. Pawpaws generally don't put that out for a while. It's a good while before you see any of that come about. But what will end up happening is it'll grow another taproot out here, and it'll begin to push. And while that's growing, this right here is collecting nutrients and it's help feeding the tree. And I put a little bit of mycorrhizal on there, and it causes the roots to bolster a little bit more as it's feeding. We'll stick that back into the water. Now, what will end up happening is as that is growing a new taproot down through here, that taproot, and sometimes it'll put out 2 and 3, I've had them as many as 4 taproots pushed downward. But what will happen is it'll come down here to the bottom of the pot, and it'll air prune. And once it air prunes, it creates more fiber in the pot. And then of course later on, you know, that's what I call graduation. I'll be taking these out and they'll be graduating into these pots right here. Although I'm not quite ready to do it yet. I may take enough to create a crate and store them in the greenhouse. And this is only going to take a moment. Let me do this real quick. We got a decent one right here. I like to see them get more size than this, but this is just for the purpose of explaining what it is I do. There's 2. Here's a good one. That in there's got a lot of root fiber that came out the sides. That one there makes 4. And so does that one. That has a lot of root fiber coming out. That in there makes 5. We'll go for this one. There's 6. The crate will hold 9. And I'm grabbing the largest ones in hopes of making sure that I can get this done. There's another one that's 7. That one there makes 8. Find one more here real quick. And we have 3 sets of leaves on this one here looks like it might be aged a little bit more. And there you have it. That makes 9 of them. Now I have enough to put a crate of these together. Now, what I'll do is once they've been into the 9.5-inch pots, and let me set this back over here out of the way momentarily, and I'll take them as a bare root and I'll stick them in here. From this area right here will have a lot of root mass like I showed, and I'll let it grow. And we got a little bit of root matter coming out down here. Daggone slug. And what I'll do with this, I'll transplant this, and the trick that I showed earlier this year with cutting the bottom out and then down opposite sides, setting it into the ground and throwing your dirt around the pot, and then cut this off and cut this off, and you can slide the 2 pieces out. A lot of people say, well, I reuse my pots. I wouldn't want to do that to my pots. Well, you don't have to do that to your pots. But the thing about it is I'm after root mass. Now, a lot of these went into another pot system. Well, let me get back to what I was saying. I know there's root right down in here, but I'm going to cut this pot open right in here. Pull that out of the way. We'll get the dirt out of the way, and then I'm going to cut that root straight across here. I'm going to snip the root, and it's all going to be from here up, and that's going to end up going into this. Well, this right, this is going to go into this right here. That's the reason why I said I would cut that like that. Let me set this down. But a lot of them that were in those pots, I just dumped the pot. And matter of fact, the picture that I showed came out of one of them pots, and it's going to get graduated into this. Mind you, I snipped the root back, and this is loaded with holes all around the pot. And we get good air pruning of the root system. Now, excuse me. Now, another system that I have shared time and time again, and I would never take anything away from it, is the Root Maker 1 gallon pots. And I have one right here in which I have water back there. I'm going to dump this pot, and we're going to take a look at what's going on. I'm going to throw that down there, and then we're going to shake the dirt loose because we want to take a look at root structure, what all happened. Another reason why I like to try and take these apart is we end up with little fibers like that come from weeds that I had pulled, and I don't want that in that root system. That's the reason why I try to go with a bare root scenario. It doesn't hurt them. They're able to handle it. This one, incidentally, is going to end up going into that big square pot I just showed you. And have a quick examination of, there's some fibers from weed. This is one big reason why I take pots or some of the seedlings out of the pots to make sure I don't have that debris. Now, one thing I will show you that I see with these pots is it doesn't stop turning, the root that is. It'll still continue to turn. Give me just a moment here. I'm going to grab something. Oop. I am looking at this root system, and what I see is it made it down to the bottom of the pot, and it kind of kept trying to grow, and it forced a hook right here, but that won't hurt the tree. This won't hurt the tree either, but I'm going to bring this down, and we're going to take a look. You can see that's where the taproot got down to the bottom of the pot and started to travel over, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it, and this little tree right here is going to end up getting transplanted in to this and allow it to develop more root system, which you can see it's got a lot of root system, not as much as the one I showed the picture of from last night. But I have a bucket of water right here just for that. We'll set that in water. And those can stay in water for a couple, 3 or 4 hours, and it won't hurt them. So now I have soil here that I have to get rid of because it's got a lot of weed type seed in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this fork right here, drop that, and go back to this root trapper bag, also put out by Rootmaker Products out of Huntsville, Alabama. Now, the one thing I found with the 1 quart bags, it gave me problems with the seedlings, and I lost 90%. But they were small seedlings. They weren't able to allow the water to evaporate quick enough to help it. But with these bags right here, this is a bigger bag, and what we have is a bigger seedling, that is, with a lot of leaf structure on it. Incidentally, that is a seedling from last year. We've got a few of them even bigger than that, and that's pretty good size. You know, last year, well, in April, when I first set these out there in the greenhouse, they were nothing more than a little twig, and they really took on the growth. And I got 5 of them here that will be going into root trapper bags. I've got 12 or 14 out there now that are in the greenhouse in root trapper bags. Some, well, the vast majority of them are bigger than this one. And I have grafted trees that are in those big tall pots like that, and those are going to be placed in the side of this bag here and grown out. That's got an 8-inch opening, and that is 15 inches deep. It's just as deep as a 5-gallon bucket. Now, what this will do, we turn it so you can see, the inside of the bag is like a felt. It's all plastic. It's refurbished plastic. It's been shredded and all that. But that root, what it'll do, it'll get down into this bag, and once it does, it can't turn. It can't go anywhere. It's snagged right there. And when I look through the bag, I can see light through the bag, a little tiny hose. When that bag is filled up with water, it sweats like a pop can, and the water will seep out of it. And you also get a little bit of airflow, because when that root makes it to that corner or to that wall, it'll sit there and air will actually penetrate through the bag just a little bit, and it'll cauterize that root. And what happens when you cauterize the root, or should I say, when the root has been air pruned, what will happen is, let me find another good one here. We got 2 of them right here. What will happen is it'll go right back up the shank of that root. Even these lateral roots, when they make it out here to this, they'll get snagged and cauterized. And it'll go right back up that lateral root, and it'll push more root fibers. That's what the bag is designed to do. And that's the reason why I'm going to use these. I ordered a whole bunch of these, and I'm going to be doing quite a few trees inside these. The only drawback that I have is they take an awful lot of soil. But to get back, you know, I could grow a tree probably 5-6 foot tall in that bag, and it'll be fine. You can't get, you'd be hard pressed to get 5-6 years out of that. And that's what I'm after. But I hope this explains to you what it is that I'm doing. Although the Rootmaker pots, like the bigger tree came out of, I've kind of steered away from them. I'm not taking nothing away from them. It's just I only have so much space out there in that nursery, and that's the reason why I had decided to go with these and these. I'll be putting up a new greenhouse, and a lot of these is going into that new greenhouse, which is going to have a lot of room. But I hope that explains to you what it is that I'm doing, and hopefully things work out for you. But anyways, I got some things I got to take care of. Got the sprinkler running over there, and I got to get it readjusted. It's sprinkled long enough on that area. My name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Y'all have a God bless day.